The video did 500 million views.
Wait, what?
Not 500,000. Did 500 million views across all platforms.
What video is this?
It was covered on Tokyo News, London News, countries in South America. Don't ask me why.
In today's episode, Deep, an agency owner who's generated hundreds of millions of views for his clients, sits down with Alex Lotier, a founder of Culture Media, a media company that has accumulated over 5 million followers across platforms.
That's why we were able to partner with people that wanted to dominate in that space. eBay, StockX, Crypto.com, PrizePicks. But we were like, wow, like we can get 10, 20, 30, 50K checks for just like integrating brands and products into these videos that we're filming, traveling the world. That seems better.
Wow. Like, I got chills, bro. I'm fired up. Alex, Sam, welcome to the show, boys.
Let's go. Happy to be here, brother.
So fired up, man. Let's go. We made it happen. It took us a few attempts, but we're here.
All year, and here we are. Right before 2026. We got it in.
I'm fired up, man.
Yeah.
Look, you've built a confluence of Nike, Barstool, and Overtime with Culture Media. But when I knew it was Culture Kicks.
Yeah.
You guys are deeply entrenched into the shoe game, into culture, into sports. What's the confluence of all these things, and why'd you bring it all together?
So originally, when we made this logo, if you notice, in between the letters, there's a gap. And really what we said is we are filling the gap in culture. So when you think of anything that has to do with sports, pop, music, fashion, we want to actually bring what is current in today's entertainment world and today's social media world to the user through the voices of all of the different people dominating culture. So all of the different personalities within sports, music, fashion, cooking. We have a women's, line coming out. Everything that you can possibly think of, we wanted to bring it in one. And we wanted to really pitch it through the voice of the creators, which I believe no one has ever done before.
One of our first conversations that we ever had together, you were talking to me about the importance of, closing this gap with culture and doing that through media, doing that through actually being on the ground. I've seen hundreds of your guys' videos and what you've done in the reselling game and the negotiations and the pro athletes and all this stuff. But bringing it down to the core principles, like what are those of what you guys are building and putting out there? Yeah,
I think in the beginning we didn't really know that it would exactly look like this picture. It was just pure hustle, grit, Philly guys. You're wearing the Brady jersey today to try and get me on my game. I'm actually more wired, so thank you.
Let's go.
Hey,
killers perform under pressure, baby.
Killers perform under pressure, the same way we did against 12.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Let's go. Super Bowl champs twice. Anyways, started out with hustle, right? We had a 600 square foot apartment in Conshohocken, Pennsylvania. I always like to say that I live 2 to 3 years in the future. Definitely never thought that, the 10-year plan might happen in 3. But we really just started to try to document buying and selling sneakers. And Brandon Graham actually on the Philadelphia Eagles DM'd us one day and he said, hey, the entire team is looking for these Jordan 1 lost and founds. You guys want to get us all right?
The entire team.
Extremely viral shoe, is the 1985 bring back. Massive piece of history there for culture. That was late 2022. He welcomes us to Nova Care Center. I'm a diehard Eagles fan. So in the beginning, we hadn't met a lot of famous people, definitely shaking or nervous or just excited. And walk in, there's Devontae Smith, Jalen Hurts, all the boys there, and sold him 4 or 5 pairs of shoes. Ended up coming back the next year and just opening up the back of my Jeep Wrangler, and they were having their pickings. And at the time, I thought we were documenting it pretty well. Today, I know that we were not documenting it even 1/10 as much as we should have.
Totally. That's my number one regret.
Yeah.
Even running a content company and doing this podcast for years.
Yeah.
My number one regret is that I didn't document more of the journey.
Yeah.
But the second best time to plant a tree is now, baby.
Yep. Let's go.
Sam, I want to take it over to you for a second here. You guys go way back, right? Why don't you tell us your origin story there a little bit?
I kind of want you to share that from your perspective, Alex.
All I'll touch on is I tried to recruit Sam when we were at Syracuse. Ended up joining a fraternity, Sig Ep, let's go, if we have any brothers watching. And he wouldn't come. He said no, and he actually took a bid to another fraternity. And I said, all right, then one day in the future, I'll get him back. And that was 7 to 8 months ago now.
Yeah.
And I think that happened in 2019, and Alex and I started working at the beginning of this year, so the beginning of 2025. And so I think it's one of those things that goes to show, like, we were not talking every single week, we were not talking every single month, but we stayed in touch. And like he said, what he just said about coming back full circle, I felt the exact same way. So we talked every couple months, kept in touch with each other, and then it all came full circle, as stuff tends to do.
Sam was one of those people similar to me and you, Deep, where, you know, we talk maybe once every 2-3 months, but we never skip a beat. Right?
100%.
So
yeah,
I made
low maintenance relationships is what I like to call them.
Exactly.
You don't need to fucking have a FaceTime for 3 hours every week and like you know everything that's going on. But when you do see each other, it's like picking up right where you left off.
Exactly. And that's really what it was for us. We even had something on, which I had with nobody, like a monthly call check-in or whatever, just to see what he was crushing and doing. And we always knew our paths would probably come back together. In the beginning, I was like, he hates this. I was like, oh, you want to come edit and clip? And he's like, no. I'm like,
He tried to get me as a clipper and then just a sales guy. And every time I was just like, I love what you're doing, dude, but it's not me.
Yeah. So what is you?
I'm an operator at heart. When I was 18, I started working with Barstool Sports in their college market stuff, Viceroy program, running Syracuse accounts, ACC accounts. When name, image, and likeness became a thing with college athletes, I started the first NIL company in Syracuse, repped every single athlete there, transitioned into high production, personal branding, opened a podcast studio in Syracuse, ran social media for the 2 football, basketball coaches up there, a lot of the athletes, brands, businesses from funeral homes, car dealerships, smoothie shops, everything in between. So like I do marketing, and I build teams. And like throughout those different experiences, it's been in sports and it's been in media and it's been in personal branding. And so when Alex reached out to me and I saw what he was doing with culture and they had built this massive audience, for me, it was really interesting because I'd always been building audiences from the ground up. Right. And as you know, someone that works in social, you have to build an audience up to then monetize it. He had already done the hard work of getting it from 0 to 1.
Now it's throwing gas on the fire.
Correct. And that was what was exciting to me and something I didn't have at that moment. So when he was like, you don't need to be a sales guy, you don't need to be a clipper, he brought me out to Philly to kind of like pitch myself to the whole team at that point in time. And I left, came to COO, and from there was history.
It's incredible, man, and that's one thing that I can admit is like a weak point that we've had as a company for the last 5 years is, you know, I could sell. I understand people. I'd say decent at sales. I am really good at setting a vision and selling then my team on that vision and executing. I'm not good at ops, man. I'm not a systems guy. I don't. You know, especially, yeah, I can get the troops in line and get everyone to drive in the same direction. And like, this is what we're doing. Even if I don't know, like, I can do that all day. But then you actually have me sit down and like map out that system, like the how, horrible. And my business partner, Jamie, he's incredible human being. And he's world-class at strategy. Like he can come up with just elite content concepts and ideas that just go mega viral for our clients and stuff. So we got 2 out of the 3 pieces that I think you need to really build a powerhouse media empire. That's the missing piece. So what you do is so friggin' important, but it's kind of hard to explain to people who don't get it. It's like, no, you need the guy who can actually like reverse engineer a goal into like an actual system that can run like a well-oiled machine.
And we always talk about it. It's like you need to be high level enough, but also be able to get down in the trenches and communicate with like editors and videographers, and designers and all that.
You got to understand their pain points, correct? And you know, bottlenecks, and then go solve them. It's like an editor might, I might think, and this happens all the time because I have my team, and you know they're going to be editing this, so they're going to be laughing as they edit this because I'll just be like, yeah, like we need this out like in 2 days.
Yeah,
they'll be like. No, downloading the files is going to take, 5 hours, adding the color correction, then doing this, then cutting out this, by the time we get to the point where like, we need a week.
Yeah.
All right. So let's do it in 3 days.
Yeah.
So they hate me, but it's like,
model.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, one thing I was going to say is, I have definitely instrumental in the scale of culture, a couple mentors or people that I've looked up to. So like Gary V, Elon, Hermosi is sort of what popped into my head right now. delegating at scale is the most difficult thing standing in the way of a business that is trying to grow into new chapters and depths within their own company, right? Really finding people like Sam and trusting that you can give him a set of goals and missions, and then he will go do them to the best of his ability, and it's going to be damn near close to as if you did it yourself. Like that trust, that let go, once you have, established yourself that is the person, is the difference between you actually reaching your utmost goals and not at all. Because you cannot remain in 100% control of everything if you ever want to achieve something that can be a worldwide stretching business brand, have true scale. You're going to need a team around you that can execute and do things similar to how you would do them if you're asleep on vacation in a coma, whatever it might be.
How do you define what scaling is for you now? Because I'm sure that definition changed over time.
Absolutely. Start as a product business, resell, go source, sell for more. How do we then make that something that can actually be sellable itself? Okay, put a brand on it, put a logo on the art of that trade. Now, how do we go monetize that logo one step further? How do we go scale that logo into multiple businesses that aren't just a resell business, right? Let's go make videos. Let's go put new faces related to that logo. Let's go monetize those faces and let's stretch them across everything that is similar to sneakers. Today's day and age, AI, you have the back end of all of your socials. YouTube is the best place to look. You see all of their demos. What do they love? Basketball, finance, trade, baseball. Okay, you don't have to solve a Rubik's Cube here. You don't have to solve a Rubik's Cube here. Literally just go look at the demos, fill the need, and then build businesses off of their interests, their core interests. And I think as long as you have a team that's actually with the times and looking what's actually working in the world, all the answers are right in front of you. Just can you execute or can you not?
So you went from working at Foot Locker to building an actual sneaker empire.
Yeah.
What was the shift? What was the transition when you're just like, man, screw selling my time for money. I want to do my own thing.
Yeah. I was a hungry dog, and that's why I am actually looking next year to have like my own little academy of hungry dogs that become interns for culture. But I couldn't stand people like putting me in a box and limiting me to not be able to do other things that I thought would be really good for this company. And when I put myself into something, I put my entire heart and soul and every living organism within me into it, right? And I remember just opening, like, I got the internship junior year from Syracuse University, got the full-time offer back, senior year as a breeze, knew I was going there. I ran North America Foot Action for women's. So Foot Action is actually not a department of Foot Locker anymore, but was working with like Cardi B, running all of the Ethica allocation across thousands of stores in North America, right? New Reebok shoe drops, etc. And I literally remember like during lunch breaks, just like slamming my wheel out of frustration, driving to, and I'm not usually a guy that ever loses my cool, even if the Patriots beat us, which won't happen. I don't lose my cool, but it's like when you're put in a box and you know the greatness inside you and you just can't let it out. I lasted 8 months at that job. They tried obviously to keep me around, whatever. It wasn't going to work, right? Then actually ended up quitting that, opened a sneaker resale store within a sports card company. So literally an entirely new division. Within the first 9 months, COVID hit, which was helpful to me with everyone's disposable cash. Did $1.1 million in sales for this company in 9 months. Had no ownership, and then ultimately left that to start Culture Kicks in 2022.
When did you know that, okay, this thing has legs and I actually need to go all in on it, burn the boats?
I knew, man, when I took the jump, because I knew I had legs. So I didn't know what the legs would look like or where they would lead me, but I knew that now finally my back was up against the wall. I told my parents, like, hey, this is my third business at the time. I'm quitting that job that I quit the other job for. They're like, all right, you do you.
Yeah.
We know you're going to land on your feet. And then at that point, it was just off to the races. Like, I'm talking 12:30 a.m. meetups, casino, parking lots in South Philly. Like, shit could have gone really wrong. Obviously,
Because you're robbing kicks to just like,
We're waiting
Whoever.
overnight. Like there's people waiting in tents for Yeezy slides, and we're standing there the morning after 11:01 a.m. after they get it at 11 a.m. with cash in hand after they literally tented out for a whole night. They make $100 right there. We make 50 on top selling to our end user. And at that point, I had something. We were making 50 to 100K a month, like no wide, elaborate business at all. Literally buy shoes, sell them. Barely even documented ourselves doing it.
Wow.
He said back up against the wall, and I just want to bring that up for a second because I think that is like potentially if you could bottle that out, that energy you get when you are back against the wall into a bottle and sell that, you could sell it for millions of dollars. I think it's when the best things happen. I'm sure you feel that as well.
Oh yeah, brother. I mean, a little too much. That to the point where sometimes I think even subconsciously, it's almost like I look forward to it in a sicko type of way. It's like, it's like, okay, bet. Let's go.
It's easier when you're hearing.
Because now I have
There's no option.
to perform.
No
I
option.
have to get that shot in. I have to perform. Now is that the best? Do I suggest that to everybody? I don't think everyone has the stress tolerance.
No.
Right?
Correct.
You have to be able to deal with abnormal amounts of stress and shit going wrong and people being upset at you and this emotional fortitude that just strengthens you. And I don't think I always had that the way I do today. And 5 years from now, I'll look at today's me and it's like, that guy's a fucking pussy. Like, he can do it shit. But in this game, in this entrepreneurial world, I mean, that's the one thing that actually drives me and keeps me going is like, yo, back up against the wall. I am going to do some of my best work. Is it sustainable? I don't know. I'm still finding out every single day, but I do want to jump a little bit into, those early days a little bit deeper.
Yeah.
I mean, you got all this inventory. It's worth a lot of money. It's kind of risky, no?
Kind of risky.
Tell me about some shit that's gone wrong, bro.
I mean, there's been multiple times that, pairs have been lost. People got them stolen from their doorstep. But a year and a half in, after we moved from that 600 square foot Conshohocken apartment, finally to our first big 5,000 square foot office, corporate office, warehouse inside, an alarm installation company came in to scout the place where they would put all the alarms in the corners of the rooms. The next morning we walk in and the door is broken down. Luckily, shout out Google Nest, we had cameras filming them. But we had built for 10 to 11 months to that point from $20,000 in inventory to $100,000 in inventory. I was never paying myself anything. So every single dollar that I made, I put right back into more inventory to make more money. Totally stolen. Everything gone. $78,000 worth of products stolen. And no, we did not get the insurance for about 6 to 8 months. And when we did, we were paid half of what it was worth back. I had to let go of fathers with kids that they needed to, provide for. Probably 8 to 10 operations employees. One of the hardest things I've ever done. Again, you just touched on it. Pain tolerance. You need to have the highest pain tolerance known to man. Easily could have folded right there. Ended up moving to my parents' basement and selling the rest of that $20,000 of inventory, outpour from the community, thousands of dollars of support tips and things, which I now go back and help support them 10x. And definitely one of the hardest moments in my life, thought the whole thing was potentially going to be over, but knew again, the same thing that you asked me, what was the biggest breaking point? It's I had me, we had us, So I wasn't going to lose. I came this far.
You always had faith.
Yeah.
What's the role faith has in all of this?
Yeah, I'm a strong Christian. Pray. My family and I growing up, pray before we eat every single day, before I go to bed at night. Strong belief that there's a lot of higher powers and what's meant to be will be. And I think one thing that's very instrumental in culture success as well is I have never burned a bridge. So I'm always the guy that gets fucked over. I have told my team countless times again, the YouTube thumbnail title is never worth it. It's never worth it. Don't burn the bridge. Don't try and make a fool of somebody to get a couple extra short-term clicks, right? And now, like through my algorithm and people that I watch, they always say a big, part of their success is because they actually feel like they've just always given and now the world gives back. And I do believe in that as well in the universe, but I've always given and I lose no matter what.
That's beautiful, man. I mean, in a lot of these conversations that I've had, my faith has strengthened so much. And that's the thing that also keeps me going. We talked about fuel before being back up against the wall, but I also think that's rooted in, a certain level of faith that it has worked out for many people before. It has worked out for me before. I'm going to keep going. Let's just see what happens. But
keep going.
Keep going, baby. And that's the thing, though. A lot of people will fold at the first thing that goes wrong. And I wouldn't blame them. $78,000 of inventory gone overnight, inside job. These guys screwed you over. It would have been very easy to just been like, yo, this wasn't the thing. But I think that's something that's also wrong with, I sound like an old head when I say this, but like this generation, like coming up now is like the first thing that like goes wrong, fold and pivot. It's all they just pivot too quick. It's like, I love this one Hormozyism where it's like, if you just stick around for 10 years, 10 plus years, just doing the exact same thing, obviously refining, getting better, you will just, by very nature, you will outlive all your competition. I'm seeing that.
Quit, you can't lose.
Exactly. And I'm seeing that now, year 5 of running my company. Like when I started it, bro, that COVID era, again, best thing that could have happened. Like, I hate saying that. A lot of people were fucked during COVID, but my business was born during that turmoil. When we started off, everything was blue ocean. There was no one was doing our full service of coming up with the ideas, helping people script everything, strategize, film, edit, post content. There were people who did videography. There were a lot of people who did editing. But no one put it all together and like actually performed. We had blue ocean. It was great.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, everyone and their mom's a short form agency. Like you well aware, bro. Like everyone and their mom was doing it. But where did they all go? They're all, you don't get those DMs anymore.
No.
When people like, yo, like, sure, there's like the Pakistani dude who's like, yo, I'll do some reels for you for $3, that type of thing.
Yeah.
That'll always be there. But I'm talking about agencies who will like make their whole offer around it. And so my point is like just sticking around and, to your point, never screwing anyone over, always doing good work. I always go to bed every night just with no feelings of like, fuck, like regret, shouldn't have done that, like fuck, short-term thinking. You think long-term, you're always going to win. Always going to win.
It's crazy how not complicated it all is, right? Like that's something I always think about when I'm like, everyone tries to overcomplicate everything. It's just do the right thing, work harder than the guy in front of you, and, meet as many people as you can and connect the 3.
Totally. Going back to your role a little bit, Sam, what has been one of the biggest challenges working with someone like Alex?
He moves extremely fast, which I think is like probably the best thing about him, and at times some of the most challenging. I think like I remember back when I started, and he was very patient with me, but it took probably a month or 2 to like really understand his brain. And I think like what I have always tried to do in business and just with people is like understand people, whether it's the CEO, whether it is the editor, whether it's the videographer, the creative person, understand like their perspective and why they respond and act in certain ways. And I think with him, when he moves, especially now, when he moves extremely, extremely fast, sometimes it's like, okay, like we had a conversation about this the other day. I was like, slow down a little bit. I understand why you're making decisions and why you're saying all of this, but he also sees everything before everyone else. Like he says, he's living in the future. He's making these changes before anyone else even sees them. And that is a great thing for the business, but that needs to be communicated properly to everyone else, because the way he moves, if I'm not understanding and communicating it to everyone else, and if he's not, the people that like hold the business together and the glue of the business won't feel passion. Yes, earthquake. Yeah. So like that has been challenging, but it's also one of those things where like every company, everyone in my position should die to have someone that like moves like that.
Yeah.
Because I know that he's always a step ahead, which I think is something that like you yearn for in business, is someone that's always looking ahead and moving very quickly, and also like holds everyone accountable, which is why I love him the most, is because I'm get all of my energy externally from people. I always have. Like, there are people that have like done me wrong that will motivate me for the rest of my life, and there's people that hold me accountable and motivate me and make me the best version of myself. And so having someone like him who every single day shows up, shit, I have to too. Like,
Give
I can't take a day
me
off.
an example of a crazy thing that he's just like, yo, we need to get this done like right now, that you just had to adapt and deal with, that you can share.
College tour isn't a bad one unless you got a better one. I didn't know. He put together 300 million views across 10 weeks, across 10 colleges. I didn't book a single Airbnb, flight, not a thing. Like, I didn't even really bring in any of the creators. I don't even think I brought in one. I wasn't even really on it until the first week, because then I knew when it was time, okay, I'll go optimize it. But I literally was living beyond the college tour and absolutely annihilated it.
I think we're pretty aligned on most big things. The stuff that I don't even know how much I've told you about. The stuff that pisses me off from time to time is just like, I live probably similar to you or people on your team. Like, I just live in social, and like the smallest things with the algorithm and with how people perceive stuff. Like, we have a whole ecosystem of accounts, right? And so when we post a video and collab it with 4 different pages, the person that sees the account doesn't know where to follow or where to go stick, because there are so many different things. So it's stuff like that where there's
making sure there's overall alignment, and just like, let's take a second and just make sure that we're all driving on the same road.
Yes, and that's it. And that's, but like, once again, it's great because he's moving fast and getting shit done. But from a macro level, like, he's good because he typically runs stuff by me before making any massive decisions.
And for you,
Definitely one of the hardest parts about running a business, though, just to sit on this for a second, like, you know, especially in the social media creative world, everybody watching here, like, this is going to be the #1 challenge for every kid. 90%. How many people want to be a social media content creator at the age of?
It's like 70% of 7th graders.
70% of 7th graders want to be a social media creator, right? Guess what's going to happen? Like, every kid that wanted to be an astronaut, MLB, NFL, NBA player, it's not going to happen. They're going to go work for ESPN, Fox Sports, Culture Media, right? And when they do, who's going to be able to grow their career and put them in the right position to succeed? So something we're actually doing in 2026 is building the picks and shovels community of the creator economy for all those kids that want to be TikTok dancers or whatever it might be, skip makers, and it doesn't work out, and then they still want to be part of it, tied to it, and we're going to put that together. But the hardest challenge for someone like me, who is not innately a social media creator, or really not even one that wants to be, but I do want to empower future entrepreneurs, and I want to inspire people to go chase their dreams. So if that makes me a creator, fine, is communicating with these creative minds that are not able to keep up with the words that I just said over the last 30 seconds, right? And like, really understand that they have to see the entire picture, breathe, whatever, and slow myself down, right? Which is very important, but not the pace at which I move. And same thing Mr. B says, same thing Elon says, okay, that's a great goal for 6 months. How do we do it in 6 days?
how do you now take that, like, you're going 1,000,000 miles an hour, and translate that into what you tell Sam and disperse to the rest of the team?
Yeah. My mom, actually, so she's I get a lot of inspiration and who I am from my mom. She's first generation American, from Germany, ended up becoming head of global supply chain for Bristol Myers Squibb. And she literally would always tell me, like, hey, in your companies, you're going to need a right-hand man who can just break down, almost like garbage disposal, your words, vision, and thinking. And it took me it took me literally two and a half years and change to have someone that could do that, right? Because what I would do is drive all of the employees crazy when I give them different things and alignment changes. And now I've learned myself, right, in this whole process, like you say, years, to be able to tell Sam first, and he will communicate it in the way that it needs to be done. And I have to live with the fact of knowing that if we did it 3 weeks ago, it would crush. But I'm like, okay, it will happen in 3 weeks. The world will be fine. Take a chill pill, Alex.
Yeah, I've had to learn that the hard way. I like to go a million miles an hour because money loves speed, and business, like, what is true today might not be tomorrow.
Correct.
And it's like, let's fucking go. If we can just do it now, why not do it now?
And with that said, he knows, because we know each other well enough now, that if it's something that's really imminent to happen right now, then we both sort of put our foot down and speak with the team, and it happens.
Yeah.
But for most cases, it needs to happen organically, and everyone has to be behind it, etc.
Absolutely. Earlier on in my business journey, I would struggle a lot with, everyone tells you to delegate. Everyone tells you, you got to automate things, prioritize, all that stuff. But when you're like, I don't want to say a one-man army, but, you got like a few people on your team. You got some people that, are relying on you.
Well, full time.
When I had like 6 people even, I was like, okay, wow. I want them to do so many things that they're not doing.
Yeah.
Why are they not doing it? And I would just say, it would piss me off. But I'd get upset at them. And really, I had to take a good hard look in the mirror, and it's like, oh no, this is all on me.
Yeah.
I'm not doing a good job communicating effectively, actually defining a goal, a deadline, of what's the completion of this project, what does success look like, how does this affect them? That's also a big thing. Like, yo, I want to do this crazy fucking thing. I need it done tomorrow. But if you do this, like, you're going to get a nice bonus, or take the weekend off. I've been working you weekends. Take the weekend off. Do this, like, whatever. I don't know. Building that into an actual like system has been a massive challenge for me until this year. When I went down to Colombia, we were talking about that a little bit before. It's like, I needed just to zoom out and see the forest from the trees for a second. Just get, obviously working my ass off, but I just need to get away from Miami, the noise, everything. I did that, and
extremely valid.
I realized that I need an operator, and we were just talking about that a little bit. And I brought on someone who, it wasn't initially to be this person. I brought them on to be an assistant, like an executive in-person assistant type of thing. She turned into my head of ops within like a month. It took a month of her like downloading my crazy, understanding like how I work. I don't have most things documented, but it's like, just shadow me and see how I operate. I got a lot of shit done. It's just not clean how I do it. You are going to help me make it clean so that you can hire your replacement. She just did that. Like, not even
amazing.
Not even 6 months in. She just hired her replacement. She's built out systems, Miro boards for everything, processes, flows, swim lanes, all this shit that, like, my brain doesn't work that way.
Yep.
And so she's going to be the COO for sure. Absolutely. At this point, she pretty much already is, but I just see the value in that so much in going to the next level.
Yeah.
When did you know you needed that?
When we are really changing the future course of the business. When I understood myself that I had to hire someone smarter and better than me in a certain lane, and I knew Sam had Barstool Sports experience building Barstool Syracuse from the ground up. Sort of chapter 2, in between getting robbed and Sam coming on the team, we launched a sneaker line. We've sold through now 3 versions of the sneaker line. The best quality one is coming in 2026. V4, baby. Let's go.
I don't know if you could top this, bro.
Come on.
These are fucking fire, bro. If I can just say, bro.
You buy 2 inches of height, you're looking at it.
Yo, I didn't really, that part for sure. Definitely you get taller in these bad boys. But you were gracious enough to gift me a pair of these when they first dropped. And it was the blue on white skis. Bro, I tried them on. I was like, yo, you know what? He's got his own little thing.
I'll
like,
get my boy Champ.
I'll support it. Like, yo, I put them on, bro. I couldn't take them off, bro. I was running in them. I'd wear them out because they look pretty clean, whatever. Yeah. I'd be getting compliments on them.
Yeah.
Bro, it's walking on a cloud.
Literally.
It's a pillow in my feet. I love them.
The clouds because of our good friends at Aware. Bro.
Yeah. But for sure, man, like, I just got to say, I wasn't expecting you guys to drop your own line. I know you carved out your own market doing your own thing.
Yeah.
It made a lot of sense to me.
Yeah.
But I thought, they're just doing this just as like a drop.
Yeah.
Just like a little thing. Just like, fuck it.
Yeah.
It is very much a legitimate shoe company now. How did you make that?
Thank you, brother.
How did you make that the case?
same back to the guys that were selling Nike Dunks out of our trunk. I'm like, okay, let's put a brand on it. Let's make it something memorable. Let's make it something that one day investors can buy into and own part of. Like, all right, we've sold so many of these sneaker Dunks, whatever. How many new colors is Nike going to make? Let's make our own. It's more comfortable, more affordable. Our top customers can buy these as well.
Yeah.
And you know what's so funny is so many of them have told me in person, they're like, Alex, like, I was buying it for you. Like, you know, I support you and it's awesome, but it's like, dude, they're really good.
Yeah.
Like, I actually am not just buying.
I've bought like 4 pairs, dude.
Yeah. Like,
I want one of every colorway. I really like
you see a 4 or 5 million follower account throw out their own line. Like, all right, here we go. Another brand or influencer doing a cash grab.
Yeah.
Right? So like one thing that we made sure is like, you know, it's funny now and awesome to look back and be like, wow, these dropped a year and a half ago, but I was trying to make them for 16 months before then, and they were falling apart. I was running in them. There's videos of us back in the archives, and we went to Australia SneakerCon with like one of the first ever molds, and like they were great, but then like, you know, the inner sole was like falling off, and I was like calling the manufacturer back, like, let's figure it out. So then eventually we get the right mold. It takes 6 months. You know, now we got all the tariffs fun and things going on, but it was a process. And I think when I knew that I could go like create something in the world, because, you know, inherently, I guess I am a creator just in a business way, and people could wear it and feel proud. Like I always said, design for dreamers. Like I want to make it for entrepreneurs and people that want to like think that they can accomplish anything in their wildest dreams. And a sneaker line is something that I thought was harder than a t-shirt and a hoodie. So I fucking took the shot.
Bro, I'm not just saying this just because you're my homie and you're here and whatever. Like, I genuinely love the shoe. I'm about to buy like 4 or 5 pairs for some homies for Christmas.
Yeah.
Because they asked me about it. They're like, yo, what are those?
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, bro, let me put you on.
Yeah.
I did the whole demo. Like, look, I can sell, baby.
Yeah. I know. You're a sales guy.
If everything falls apart, bro, I'm going to come sell for you, dog.
Let's go.
No, but all that to say, they're legit. They're beautiful, and you took my feedback. I remember when I got the first pair, they had the blue, the blue on white.
Yeah,
that was cool, but it didn't go with every fit.
Yeah,
so I was like, all right, bro, when are we gonna get the white on white?
Isn't that crazy?
And then you're like, bro, you gave me a date, and bro, lo and behold, we got the white on white. I'm wearing them now.
He did say to me, he's like, why aren't you doing white on white? And because we were doing all the whatever.
Yeah,
I'm like, here we are.
Yeah.
But so we launched this, right? Then I was going to compete all in. Let's go after, you know, the athletic running shoe industry, lifestyle, yada, yada. As we're doing that, we had maybe 80,000 followers. Like this is like December 2023.
Wow.
So like, you know, in a month, we have one video that does $500,000 or 500,000 views overnight. In a month, we have one video, right? We gain probably about 1 million followers, right? Excuse me. The video did 500 million views.
Wait, what?
Not 500,000. Did 500 million views across all platforms.
What video is this?
It was a woman coming up to sell us a shoe with a live bug in it. Okay? So it did 500 million views across 30 days. It was covered on Tokyo News, London News, countries in South America. Don't ask me why. This was the like 30 or 40th different style of content that we have tried across 3 years. We gained 500,000 followers from December 2023 to January 2024, okay? Went all in on that style of content. And the shoes that we had put all of our heart and work and everything into, they were still selling like thousands. We sold out like maybe within like the first month or two. But we were like, wow, like we can get 10, 20, 30, 50K checks for just like, you know, integrating brands and products into these videos that we're filming, traveling the world. That seems better, right? But we still wanted to keep the logo and the brand name, but went all in on that, gained 5 million followers over the next 11 months, just posting one style of content.
And across different channels, or was
Different channels.
Or was this on one account?
All channels. So
Okay.
it's like 2.5 million on TikTok,
Yeah.
you know, 1.2 or 3 on Instagram, Snapchat, Twitch, YouTube has like 600, 700K. Just ripping, right? All of a sudden, we start getting invited by the Saudi Arabian, like, royal family government. We do a show there with SneakerCon. We go to Singapore, a show entirely, you know, culture kicks, front-facing. Australia, like, the list goes on. I've been over 45 countries now.
Bro. Power of social media, man.
And during that, I start thinking again to what we talked about. Okay, now living in 2026, 2027, like, what's the TAM of this market? Like, how many people can really purchase something, or, how much money is in the sneaker market? It's still $10+ billion, but if we incorporate our own product, if we incorporate our own marketing, and then we touch all of the industry, that NFL, NBA, you see UFC, you see golf right now taking off. We can touch that too with the same audience, which we can. A lot higher TAM. So from that point forward to Sam, to give you the Alex answer, very nice and short, I realized that we had to incorporate the media company and go from Culture Kicks to Culture Media. So we kept the kicks of Culture Kicks, and we were going to keep growing that because that's what our audience was built on. But we are now going to go spread ourselves much wider and direct in the sports industry, lifestyle industry. And he was the guy that I knew could do it.
What was your experience with Barstool that you brought directly into culture, that you were like, this needs to change? This is how I'm going to make that vision a reality?
I think it's Barstool. It's just a combination of my experiences before, which were around content and like obviously doing all of these athlete creator deals, a lot of communication, and then from like a screws and bolts social media side of things, like how does stuff go viral? And the way we look at everything is, how do we create consistent, continuous content? How do we build a community on it? And how do we plug it into our commerce, whether it's promoting product, advertising deals, etc. And so for me coming in, it was like, first off, trying to understand the audience, because obviously like what I thought was crazy is like there's a button. You can just press the button, it's 1 million views on one of those cash out clips. And so like that is something very special that almost no one has. That is an audience that like needed to be repositioned to like other things, and honestly like figure out and identify what that audience likes outside.
How do you start
sneakers
with that? Like,
yes, you have to test. Like if you go through the page, like
$1 million question.
Let's reverse engineer right
yeah,
now. Because what do you think? Like high level, if you see, okay, they're blowing up on shoe videos, what do you think that audience likes?
I mean, probably sports, probably fashion, probably I don't know,
Money, Shark Tank.
Yeah.
So the first content we did that was outside of that cash out realm was, we were at the Final Four and we were doing videos with NBA guys. It was like Danny Green, Zach Randolph, a couple of retired guys, literally just interview style, like
I saw some of the Kevin Durant.
Yeah. So that is the first variation. We go from sneakers to basketball. Those videos all do 200K each. And so we're like, okay, I'm like, the audience now, like we know they like basketball, so we can continue to do basketball content. We went to NBA Summer League, did a couple other activations, and that like style of testing is how we did absolutely everything.
So you're obsessed with the data.
Obsessed.
You have to only data inform the.
The last couple of months, I like at this point in time when I started, I was running the socials from like February to June fully. Now I'm not doing all of the posting, but every single day I go in and look at every post we put out in the analytics, because that at the end of the day, like that's what social media is it's all algorithm based. It's all consumer based, and it's all data driven. Like, what are you posting that's getting viewership? What's getting comments and shares? Because like,
you pay attention to the comments and the sentiment and like what the like direct feedback that they're giving you, or is it pure numbers?
Pure numbers, comments and shares, pure numbers. I think it's a good like sounding board to look at stuff and see what people are saying. But like at the end of the day, you just need to get people talking.
Yeah,
and what they're talking about, it's like
doesn't really matter. That
all PR is good PR. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I hear you. Interesting. What a meteoric rise on social media. That's, I mean,
we also have to remember that half the audience is international.
Mm-hmm.
So there was 5 million, 5.2 million something now. Over half was international. Over the last 60 days, we started learning from some of our other friends in the sports media space. We've been posting graphics, carousel graphics, right? Our audience has aggressively shifted to US, which is great for us as far as advertising goes. And the male has come down significantly, female has risen. So we were about 91% male for the first 3.5 years, 25 to 35, boom. We knew our audience. We knew exactly who wants them, right? That's why we were able to partner with, people that wanted to dominate in that space, eBay, StockX, Crypto.com, a lot of others, PrizePicks. But now we're like, we need more women. Like for shopping. We need
it's
more.
90% of them are
So
just left.
we are now 70-30.
Wow,
Really good.
That's incredible.
70% male, 30% female, and about 65% US based from the reverse about a year ago.
This fall, did you see what we did with the college tour?
A little bit.
I think that this fall we did the most successful college tour in the history of social media college tours. And I'll stamp that shit because it was brand friendly. So it's not, when you think college, you think what? Partying, Project X, all that shit.
Jumping off.
No drinking, no partying, 15 to 20 people traveling every single week. Thursday to Sunday, we posted 100 times a day. Instagram and TikTok, 100 times every single day. First 4 weeks, me and Zach Lombardo, our creative director, didn't sleep. We would go shoot the whole day, come back, everyone would go to bed. I remember UNC, like I edited from 11 in the morning to 6 in the morning. That was basically the schedule.
Accounts that had 0 followers, 0 followers on TikTok and Instagram printed 320 million impressions in 10 weeks, and they now have 30,000 followers combined.
And I see, and I'm not going to call anyone out here, but I know there are a couple other college tours that happened this fall, and people are throwing around impression numbers, but like that was all based off of X, which is a whole different game.
That's all organic.
All organic, short form, Instagram and TikTok was ours. Which, and once again, I see people talk about college tours they've done on X, even print impressions on X. Like my personal did 5 million views. And doing it on short form Instagram and TikTok now is something I haven't seen done in a brand friendly way. We had 13 brand partners. So like we're monetizing all of this content through these brand partnerships. We had throughout the entire tour, like 15 to 16 different creators that came through.
That's a lot of variables to think of, bro.
A lot. And like the thing I am most proud of is we did something innovative that I haven't seen anyone else do ever. And like this is just putting on game, but we were basically licensing out UGC. We're like, you see influencer partnerships. That's what everyone does in social media, which we could get into. And I think it's a mistake for so many different reasons. What we were ultimately doing was capturing content of creators, associating brands with them, and then using our distribution to amplify it. So rather than paying $20K for a post, you don't have to post anything on your channels. You just have to be in the video and let us post it.
On our channel.
And that was how we were able to go basically film it wasn't a reality show, so there wasn't drama, but we had cameras up. We had 3 iPhones that were just running.
It wasn't drama we captured.
Yeah.
There was sea drama balls. We'll get into that next year.
Wow.
But that was like something I'm super proud of because I haven't seen anyone else do.
No, that's so innovative. And at the same time, now it's more owned media because it's on your...
Which is what was signed per contracts, per creator.
So
that's a fun bill too, the legal bills. Those are always great, and you're scaling. Yeah. Everyone's got extra money for legal bills, right?
So a lot of it is volume.
Dude, I think social media now is so saturated. Everyone wants to be a creator. The way to stand out is either through like exceptional high quality content that is so creative it makes people actually stop and watch, or it's by piercing the veil and making people, like giving people something real. So much AI, so much flexing. Like how do you, and that was why we were like,
catches the noise with authentic iPhone stuff.
Yeah. So
people can relate with that.
They feel like they're there.
And you can do so much more with that, so much faster. The lead time completely shrinks. You can literally film, like I saw you guys just do it at the beginning of this episode, and you talked about wanting to grow your personal brand now a little bit more and stuff. I've seen you capture the clips. Like, there was a massive shift in the last time I met you to now, where you are even seeing, having done all of this now under the culture umbrella, you're seeing the power of putting out content. That's why I call my business Put Out Content. Yeah. It's literally why it's a philosophy that's core to my being. It's like, yo, just put it out. Like, let's not overthink this fucking shit.
The hardest button to push is go, post.
Yes.
It's the hardest button. Once you push it, it's all downhill from there.
I think gone are the days where everything has to be perfectly polished and clean.
Yes.
Although I love filming in the studio and having things a little bit higher quality, that is one of the levers that I'm pulling because podcasts are inherently boring. So how do I get a consistent, higher quality product? I do something like this. But if I went a different lane, like if I would burn this all down, I would have a fucking iPhone set up and have 3 DJI mics, and I do 5 pods a week. Yeah. And just have a fucking someone clip. If I would go down that lane, I don't want to. But there's different ways to skin a cat here.
There are levels to it too, because I think this is awesome. The high value, high production quality stuff has a lot of value. But like document all the bullshit in between on your phone.
Exactly.
Like that's where, and then you have levels to it where people can like follow your day to day in a very lighthearted way.
Exactly.
And they can sit down and watch something that looks really pristine and has that high brand image.
What's your thoughts on platforms specifically changing the content? You know, like would you go a little bit more unpolished on TikTok, or are you finding that now it doesn't matter?
I would go unpolished on everything, but like the best going back to data, like we posted 1,600 times on Instagram and TikTok across 8 weeks, all the same exact content, same exact titles. Stuff blows up on TikTok, gets 1,000 views on Instagram. Stuff blows up on Instagram, gets 1,000 views on TikTok. Sometimes they both blow up, but like to your point, just put it out.
Just put it out.
You can't overthink it, because if you overthink it, then you don't post enough.
Yeah. Another hack here, putting on game. If you guys are tuning in, you're welcome. Rip TikToks like till you can't breathe or until you fall asleep. The TikToks that do really well, if you're uncomfortable putting them on your own Instagram or you're more whatever, because everyone's like, you know, whatever with their Instagram, put it on trial reels. Trial reels. That is like the thing, because it doesn't hit your followers and you can still amass tons of new followers. So it hits everyone other than the people that are following you. And then you don't have to worry about if your engagement makes you feel some type of way.
Yeah.
Right. Let them rip on TikTok. Either put all of them on trial reels or put the best ones on trial reels or your main. I think the best thing to do is just put it on your main page, but a lot of times people don't want to make that crossover, and it's just a hack right now.
Cool.
Volume wins though, you know, like there's no rule book to it. It's like understand how to not put too much out, but put the right amount, and don't cut corners, like we said in the very beginning. Like don't try and just like flame other people or make like silly brain rot content.
Yeah.
Really be real and provide value.
Social media is just a lottery, and every time you post, it's a ticket.
Yeah. I love it. Yeah. One of my good buddies, Michael Smoke, Higher Up Wellness. I don't know if you know him. Absolute G. He blew up in one of the most crowded spaces out there, fitness, wellness content, whatever, right? He just pulls out his phone in his whip, like in the car, and just from God just flows for a minute. No editing, not polished. They don't look like crazy. He's just kicking game. And it's really simple stuff, but the conviction, like you can feel it. Bro, he's got millions of followers. He's got incredible opportunities. His podcast is like a top 10 fitness podcast, like everything. All from just ripping crazy volume on TikTok. He'd just, every time he'd get inspiration, he'd literally pull over, rip, and just keep driving. Like, I love that. More people need to do that.
Correct.
You also become a better communicator over time, which is such an underrated skill set.
Yes.
Right?
That's most important.
Extremely underrated.
Yeah. You guys just did something at Syracuse. Tell me about that.
Yeah. Speaking of full circle, Sam and I both graduated there, as we know. We launched the first ever creator sort of event with the students that a university actually backed and promoted. Sam, again, this is definitely your language more, basically brought together 4 of our top creators. They spoke on a stage with all of the students listening, how you can monetize your name, image, and likeness, right? And then put actually the corporate team behind them afterwards. Sam moderated the entire thing, asked them questions, and did the entire setup of the event.
Wow.
But yeah, we had, a few hundred people turn out. It was unbelievable. Like, definitely that was one of your moments as a founder where you just kind of look around and you're like, wow, like just, take this in, like breathe and understand how far you've come. Because I was once that student sitting in a chair listening to a super shitty, boring accounting guy talking at me. And now to be able to sit in that chair with our company name behind us and actually steer the future.
Oh my God. And it's such a big difference. You're changing their path forever. Like you're building the future.
Context, right? I was at Syracuse. I was dual enrollment there. So I was in the business school and I was in the communication school. Syracuse Communication School, it's called Newhouse. It's one of the best communication schools in the country, is how they market it. While I was in school, I was working with Barstool. I was doing social media stuff. The way that they were teaching, if you want to be on-air talent, you need to graduate school, go to the Midwest, get a local TV job.
Yeah, like a broadcasting type of thing. Yeah, yeah.
And I always thought it was like comical because we have these phones that you can pull out and start recording yourself and cut out that whole piece of the path. And so when I graduated, I started a podcast studio there. And that was like the first space on that campus that was built for people in the creative space.
Yeah.
What is super cool and what Syracuse did is they kind of, and I had a bunch of conversations with their team, with the vice chancellor at that point in time. And he was like, we need to, if we're going to be the best communication school, we need to get ahead of it. And so what they did and what we helped them do is launch, like Alex said, the first program for the creator economy in the entire country.
Wow.
What I think is cool about that is that like, that is the first time in higher education I've seen like dedication to that, to like invest in the future of what this world looks like.
Yeah. It's always been scoffed at as like the trend or this like, no, like that's not a real job.
And so what's interesting is like to go to Syracuse right now, it's like I think $90,000 to go there. And they're going to have the higher education program. But what Alex and I are really invested in over the next year, kind of hint at 2026, is like we want to build out our own school to help young people build in the social media space.
The future of education.
Wow.
Because think about it, like from a financial perspective, can you justify paying $360,000 to go? I mean, some people can. A lot of people can't to go. Most people can't to learn social. So like,
imagine that pitch. Me to my Indian dad. Yo, pops, I want to go to school to learn social media. He'd be like, "You're gonna be a doctor."
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
So we see that as an opportunity. Like he's super passionate about like mentoring, coaching, helping younger kids. So am I.
Yeah.
We're in this space, and we're like we can help a lot of people build into this. Like we came in like kind of blue ocean when all of this is starting, and now we have experience that no person with a PhD has. None of these professors have. Well, they haven't actually done it.
And at the end of the day, like, what's your legacy, right? Like, I've already learned this. I've already understood how to take something that wasn't even monetizable, then cleanse the audience, and, you bring together the celebrities, all the things, right? Like, I want other businesses and other people to succeed if I, die tomorrow, to have some of the lessons that I've learned. And like that for me is a passion project, but also like, is there an exceptionally good market opportunity? Yes, because we can give people, debatably better lessons for 1/90th of the price.
Yeah.
That you can leapfrog 4 years, right? I see people now, like my girlfriend is dominating in social media. She dropped out her freshman year of college.
My business
4 years ahead of where I ever could have been.
My business partner, who is the creative genius behind, us generating well over 1 billion views for clients and stuff, is like, he dropped out of college.
Yeah.
Like, and me even, I'm so passionate about this topic because putting out content is the reason I'm sitting here today. When I used to work a 9-to-5 job for the federal government of Canada. I was in a cubicle in the pensions department, dude. For 6 years, I worked for the feds. This is out of college. And I wanted to shoot myself. I absolutely hated the job. Obviously not aligned. If you look at me today, you're like, yeah, guy's a fucking entrepreneur. Like, I love business. I just didn't know what to do, right? And so I started this podcast in my little attic apartment. I did not have access to a studio. But imagine if I did. While I was in college. Imagine if I got to like hone this craft, I would have had 6 more years. I'd be at 12 years now in this game if I had an opportunity like that. Imagine if I had that in high school. Imagine if I had that in middle school. Imagine if this was taught to people at a young age that actually this can be a path. Now, will all of you be the Michael Jordan of content? No, but you can make a really good living in your lane, in the things that you actually do care about. And so starting that little podcast in my attic led me to meeting a bunch of killers, quite frankly. And then my ego is like, what's this guy got that I don't?
Exactly.
Why am I slaving away at this job? That led me to meeting my business partner, which led me to burning the boats, going full into this thing, starting this TikTok agency, whatever, years ago. Traveling the world, getting to live my dream life and connecting with people like yourself. It's absolutely changed my life, but I also had those big fears when I started out of, what are my friends going to think about me?
Yeah.
my parents are going to judge me.
You got to go through the awkward stage everyone talks about.
Yeah.
It's literally the awkward haircut stage, but for a long time.
But your dream life is on the other side of that.
Everything you want lives on the other side of fear.
Yes.
Everything that you want, right? And we literally said it at this table. There's 70% of 7th graders who want to be a content creator. They're already going, teachers, on their phones while you're talking, in between class, at lunch, whatever, looking up TikTok, social media, whatever. If you actually want to put them in the driver's seat, why is the education system not implementing a social media?
What's the curriculum going to look like?
So I gotta bounce in a second. This is the last thing I'll say, and I don't want to give it all away now. But in 2026, we will be launching a very, very exclusive mentorship community. It's going to be similar to school. You're going to have to apply. You're going to have to be a killer, because we're looking to invest in people that we believe in and want to build and have that genetic side where they are a born hungry dog.
Yes. You got that in you.
So that will be coming. We're going to build this community from the ground up, very raw, very real, bring in, once again, a select group of hungry dogs and build in the social media ecosystem together. I got to jump though.
All right. My bad.
Appreciate you, brother. Thank you for having me.
Absolute honor to have you on, man.
Go get on the phone.
Peace.
Hold it down.
Let's go. You hit push-ups?
We've talked about it.
Yeah, bro. Why? Why do you subject yourself to, what to a lot of people might seem like cruelty to yourself?
Every day I want a leg up. Like every day I want a head start. I know that there's somebody, especially on the other side of the country, waking up and it's technically 3 hours later, they're already behind. What about the millions on this side, right? On the East Coast? Before the sun comes up, I want to already have done what their goal is for the entire day while the sun is up, right? I want to have that good workout, clear my mind. Actually, for me, even fitness and the way you look and everything. I know a lot of people, speaking of social media monetization, will do, gym content. I don't need to be some insanely cut, perfect, whatever the fuck guy. It's 99% for my head. It is 99% to clear myself and express within myself gratitude of how fortunate I am, how lucky I am, all of the things that I have that I never imagined. Where I am standing today is where I wished and dreamed I'd be standing 5-10 years ago as a much younger self, right? And preparing me for the 15 piles of horse shit coming my way that day that will feel instantly less dramatic because I've already cleared my head and prepared for battle.
What are your standards that you hold yourself to on a daily basis?
Great question. Yeah. For me, every day, 100% changes. I never know what the next day is going to bring in this position, right? You have a finance, legal, team, operations department. You have sales. You never know where the problem might come, and that's okay. Standards for me, be the best leader that I can be the best role model. Never let my team know if I'm having a phenomenal day or I just broke all my toes, right? You are the same guy that shows up day in and day out, and you are the example of what you want your team to be and what you want your peers to be and think of you as, right?
Lead by a pure example.
Correct.
Yeah.
I can't give you a concrete, I'd never written down on a board, like must work out this time, must do this. I miss workouts in the morning all the time. I make up for it at night, right? Work really late the night before because I didn't expect it. And
I think that's actually a really important point that I want to touch on a little bit more, because we just gave social media its flowers a whole bunch, but I think one of the downsides of it is the oversimplification of like the ideal morning routine, and like you must work out at 5 a.m. every day or you're a failure. You must hit an ice bath, red light therapy, read 2 books, and fucking close $1 million before 9 a.m.
do a handstand.
Yeah, it's like, okay, let's bring it back to reality for a second. There are days where that's not 100% possible.
Yes.
But I think it's more about the commitment you make to yourself. Is like, I'm going to work out. I'm going to lift 4 times a week. Honor that. No, I don't care when, though.
Yeah.
I think that's really important. It's like, there's some days where I'm on a flight in the morning. I can't. I actually can't. It doesn't make sense.
Correct.
But I'm going to get it when I hit the hotel.
My issue is I'm actually too hard on myself. Like, that's why a good partner, a business partner like Sam, a great teammate, my girlfriend Gabriella, like, hold me down and Sam even says himself all the time, it's like, stay down. It's like, don't get too high on the highs, don't get too low on the lows. Wins don't really do anything for me. Like, I love getting them, but I've always just thought, okay, that's growth. The losses, it's like, that's where you have to put your armored shield on. You got to be like, dude, it's fine. Like, everyone loses. There's 100 fires burning at all times. Just let them burn. Like, just never let the one that takes you out burn too much.
Yeah.
Right. And you got to just live in the middle. But you are hitting the nail on the head. This topic is literally what every single dreaming founder and entrepreneur needs to understand and learn. Like, nothing will ever go the way that you expect it to go. Everyone loses. Everyone fails. Alex Ramosi, rising billionaire, failed his first 9 businesses. His 10th business was the one that worked 9 times. Filing a new LLC, hiring a team, going out and doing it, believing this is the one, and 9 times in a row it failed. The 10th one worked, right? This is my 4th.
Yeah.
It's just pain. And, what's more painful, sitting in the cubicle in Canada or, taking the loss on your own time, working for yourself? What's more painful? And that's for you to decide.
Yeah.
But you only got one life, so I think you might as well live it.
I want to be careful in what I'm about to say, in that, little disclaimer, I'm not trying to glorify the grind right now. It's not sexy, and I don't want to put out the message that hustle, that's like the only option. However, I'm in a season right now where God has given me the blessings that I have been asking for so long.
Yeah.
That I have been wanting. And it's a monumental amount of effort to fulfill on the things that are on my plate right now. So it's been 14 to 17 hour days. I'm not sleeping too much. My fitness, I'm calling it maintenance right now.
Yeah.
I'm working out, but just more for here.
Correct.
I'm not trying to hit some kind of crazy physical goal right now.
Yeah.
I have actually one singular focus. Like, I've eliminated everything. Nothing else matters. And it's a client that we're actually working with is running for governor in one of the states. I can't really talk too much about it.
Unbelievable.
But my only goal is to get him to win. He wins, we're good.
We just win, baby.
We never have to
win.
worry about anything ever again, because obviously more problems will come and whatever.
Yeah.
But this is exactly what I've been asking for. These types of opportunities, these types of battles, but it's taking up my entire soul, because we still have a whole company to run. This is like its own business.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, this podcast is a business.
Yeah.
I'm viewing everything now as a business. Maintaining my home, my social life, they're all businesses with their own set of systems and rules and all that. How do you manage those different systems and those different sub-businesses, so to speak? Because culture is not just one entity.
No.
You've already talked about like 10 on this podcast today.
It is the multi-million-dollar question for your happiness and your financial success and your life, and how you want to live your life and what makes you happy. As a 4-year CEO and founder, I have gone to the point in my life, experiencing success along the way up, other investments, right? It was into stocks and cryptocurrency and these things during COVID. I have real estate properties as well of investments, right? Like, you can't you cannot bite off more than you can chew, and you will always think that you can chew everything at once.
Lord knows that's true.
And really what it comes down to is being real with yourself, which again is so much harder than just listening to this or saying it out loud, of what your priorities are in life and for the business. And, you need to lean on other leaders, right, in a business sense, to be able to carry through on those priorities. So we have 3 pillars right now, right? I'm not even going to get into them because the mentality right now is more important. Everything else is sub-verticals underneath them. But we have 3 things that drive, keep the lights on, and grow culture in the right direction of health that it needs to be. And I think you have to do that as well as a person with yourself, especially because you, Deep, Alex, we are a limb of culture. Like, to the employees and to really high-striving individuals, sure, they want to be part of this thing that is going to, live forever. But to us, it's like a body part, right? Like, it's not just my baby. It's like, It is literally us. So that is great for your passion, but bad on the grind, hard days. And it's not easy for me either. Like, it's not always, come on a podcast here and it's great. And it's amazing to talk about all the things that we're doing.
Oh, dude, right now,
who knows? It's on my phone once I get up. And it's, if you understand, again, how grateful you are to be running something on your own schedule, that in the middle of a week, 2 p.m. podcast, right, we're able to do something like this. It's like, be grateful, man, because a lot of people have it a lot worse,
How do you bring yourself back to that gratitude, even when it's so tough to do so?
So
when you're in the middle of the storm, when there's 10 texts that each of those could take a week to solve, of just pure focus and attention. Like, I thought of like 6 things that I decided to go to a Heat game last night. I haven't gone to any sporting event in so long. My buddy's in town. I'm like, you know what? I have been hitting it hard. Let's go. Let me try to be present. During the game, 6 fires, 6 things on my phone. I'm trying to not think about it. I'm like, look, I'll get to it in the morning. I couldn't today. We had to move things around. Front load 6 meetings before this to make sure this happens. Now I'm thinking about all those things. How do you take the reality of what I just described, which you have on a way bigger scale, and just remind yourself to be grateful in that moment?
What's it all worth in the end if you don't enjoy it, or you can't look back and be like, I smiled and felt the wins, or understood that if everything went wrong, it wouldn't be the end of the world. What's it all worth if you can't do that? And please, I've had every golf round and dinner and lunch and friends going to the beach missed, or might as well have missed because I wasn't present. And that right there took me at least 36 months, 3 years to be able to say out loud. Relationships and people and friendships that know who I am, so they understand, and we are still close when we see each other, but definitely lost or suspended, postponed, couldn't bring everyone with me. It's just you cannot. And I trust and have faith that they understand, and you just have to find a way. Everyone has a different method to get yourself back to being grounded. And if you can do that, then the sun goes down and then it comes up the next day, and you just go to sleep and you know that it's a new day. And you can never change what happened the day before, but you can always change what happens from this point forward. And if you just keep that mindset every single day, there's 365 days, you have 365 chances. I'm a big proponent of, you don't have to wait for the new year for your resolution. Every day could be a new year, right? If you keep that mindset, you just have to understand that the only person that can lose it all is the person that you see when you look in the mirror. That's the only person that can lose it for you.
So powerful, bro. For me, something that as an entrepreneur with a million priorities, a million things that I have all these ideas. I want to go 1,000,000 miles an hour and execute and get them done and perform and lead and grow and just do things. I'm a visionary like you. I've got big vision, but then I have to bring it back to reality of hey, well, strategy is ultimately dealing with the finite amount of resources, whether it be time, capital, labor, whatever it is. It's finite. I have to deal with that. Something that really helped me, and I don't know if your audience can get some value from this, but it helped me a lot, is this concept of this Japanese concept called Kaizen, which is small continuous improvement over time. And I just became obsessed with this concept because I was really the type of person that would make massive New Year's resolutions. I would have all these amazing goals and things, and I would get a lot of them done, maybe not that year, but I wouldn't ever feel like I'm winning. I always kind of had this internal dialogue of doubt that I'm not enough and I'm not doing enough. And without getting all fucking therapy on,
No, not at all.
I needed a way to feel grounded in I'm actually making progress. Like things are actually I'm moving the needle. We're getting the ball, even if it's 2-yard runs, we're advancing the ball. We're getting first downs, man. We are moving the chains. Something that really helped me with that is that concept. And I've kind of translated that for me as 1% better. 1% better every day.
Yeah.
And that thing, I turned it into this contract that I actually signed with myself every single morning. And I'm happy to give it to anyone listening to this. Just DM me contract. I'll send you my template for this. But
Let's go.
Basically, every morning I review like my why, my identities, and like my big vision. Just take us a minute. Just read that thing. Just prime me. And I write my 3 wins of the day as if they've already happened. Like I've already won these
amazing
3 things. I put a backup win because, like we said, workout might not happen. You know, that sales call might get rescheduled. You know, that date I wanted to go on. You know, whatever.
Yeah.
So I write that, I date and sign it. And now I'm like primed because to me, there's something like I can't replicate a pen and paper. I have a laptop in front of me right now.
I need to write.
Pen and paper. And that's just been a massive game changer for me to look and reflect then in the evening part of that. Like, yo, I actually did everything that I said I was going to do. And you kind of build this momentum and snowball as opposed to, yo, I'm going to get a 6-pack in 3 months. I'm going to, make $1 million this month. I'm going to do this, whatever it is. That when you don't hit that, you feel like, oh, fuck, I'm losing. Maybe you hit 780 that month.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Yeah.
I'll just try to get 1% better every day.
Correct.
What are your thoughts on a philosophy like that?
I mean, literally in a tactical sense, what I do is I write down every day 2 wins or 2 goals that absolutely nothing in the world will stop me from accomplishing.
I love that.
So like, I know that it will end up being 10. It will end up being 8 to 10, sure, like the small to medium sized ones.
Yeah.
But if you just write down 2, what it does to your brain is you actually don't try and drive yourself insane with getting everything done in one day. Write down the most feasible, real, actual possible accomplishments or things that are the most, priority important to your business and your life to get done that day. And literally, no matter what, get them done.
Can you get a little bit more tactical with how you know the top 2? Because what's to say 3, 4, and 5 are not big needle movers?
Yeah, of course. For me, I just base it off timeline. So like really it's like what needed to be done yesterday? Like what needed to be done 2-3 weeks ago? What have I been putting off in my head? This is another thing that Hormozi talks about all the time, and I love it. It's like you've always known all along what you had to do. You, for some reason, you just haven't sat in that podcast chair. You haven't filmed yourself. You haven't gone to the gym. Like, what have you been putting off? Because literally just do that first.
Yeah.
And make that the 1 or 2 of your goal sheet day. And then all of a sudden you start doing it so consistently that it doesn't even make it onto your wins of the day because it's just a part of you. And I think as far as a business owner, founder, someone that's trying to accomplish any sort of goal, right? Don't be unrealistic because then it's just going to drag you back down. Understand like what you actually can get done that day or that week even. But like in a founder's world, a day is a month. A month is a year, right? A year is 10 years. So be realistic and don't be so hard on yourself because don't worry, the rest of the world will be.
What's your philosophy on hiring for culture?
Yeah, tough. I actually was asked this question on the Syracuse panel. Zuckerberg, he said his number 1 determinator in hiring a future employee or a person is in an alternate life. In an alternate life, could you see yourself working for that person? And to me, I would have to respect and really, believe in someone so much to actually go work for them. And I need to see that drive, that hunger, that tenacity, right? I hate negative people. Like I made another mental contract with myself about a year ago. Should probably write it down. Anyone that is actually negative more than once or twice, you just cut them out of your life. Like, it's not worth it. There's no room for it. There's no space. There's enough positive, amazing things in the world to be grateful for. We have enough negativity that's brought to us from jealousy and people trying to tear us down. We don't need that, right? So for me, I look immediately just for positivity and, hard work ethic. Obviously, experience is very important. But I'm actually not a good hire at all. I'm like the worst person, like a CEO usually, or a founder who, like, when people are really, excited about your company, I come to something in common with that person. And then I'm like, all right, well, that's great. And they understand this and they get this. Like, I believe in them. Also, people are always on their best game, or tend to be, when they're talking to the guy that started it, right? The guy that's running it. So, and if they're not, then of course, easy, go to the next one. But, you have to trust, again, people like Sam, your COO, your right-hand partners, to ask those questions, and do it for the good of the company.
What's your take on building and adhering to systems within your business?
Hard, but now I love corporate. God, I like corporate, which, it's funny because you leave corporate to then go build one.
I've seen the pendulum swing back myself, where I'm like, I kind of respect how they've gone about it. I could take that and build it into my smaller shop.
It's sad, but like, in order to scale, like, you never want to get two departments. And you touched on this earlier, I remember. We try and delegate so much. Yes, it's important if you're really growing fast to delegate and trust people to do things. But if they do not do them once or twice, worst case, you cannot be above going and just getting that shit done.
Yeah.
Because if I was above, I'd never be sitting here with this shirt on.
Yeah.
God knows what I'd be doing.
You got
the amount of times that I've had dusty hands, packed boxes, gone to clean out something, moved it, like even shipping our things later today, I could hire a moving company. I'm not doing that, right? Like, you can't be above, like, the grit the whole way up. Doesn't matter how the world sees you or how you think they should be seen. Like, when your ego gets in the way, that's sort of the downfall.
I totally relate, because I bought into the dogma of, it's not worth your time, just delegate it, automate it, whatever, just get it off your plate by any means. But if you don't know how to do it, if you don't understand the principles of it, and now you have someone, that you've hired to do something for you, you've now given them so much power. You've given them the keys to your crib. And if you don't know how to, fix something and go in there and get your hands dirty, you're actually in a very risky place, because now you don't know if the job's actually getting done the best way that it can get done or not. When I started this podcast, I taught myself how to edit. I went to YouTube University. How to edit podcast. What cameras do I need? How to treat sound, this, that, whatever. I just learned it. It wasn't that complicated. I learned very quickly after like 5-6 episodes. I'm like, I fucking hate this.
Yeah.
So I called up my brother. He was my first hire ever. And to this day,
my sister is mine.
Yeah, no way.
Yeah.
So you get it.
Yeah.
Like, I called him up. I'm like, bro, you want to edit these pods for me? I'll give you like $50 an episode. I didn't really have money, but I'm like, I don't bring value to this, but I know how to fucking do it. So I taught him, and then he took it and did way better than I could do.
Yeah.
But there were times where I had to hop in and edit a pot. He was busy at school, this, that, whatever. And so knowing that I could do that was really important. And I totally agree. I think it's nuanced, right? That when you do realize that something can be done by someone who absolutely loves doing it, and they're very good at it, and that what it is, and there's a clear defined system for it, go. I don't want to count the beans, bro. Like, I'm not a spreadsheet guy.
You need to keep the mentality of what got you there in the first place. And I think once you start hiring big teams or big people, you lose sight. And even sometimes you start listening too much to some of the other leaders. Like, you need to understand that they are good at their niche or their skill set, but your gut and your vision is the reason that they are here and that you guys are still moving forward. And you need to lean on that as a founder. And that's a lot of times why, when people make investments, if the CEO and founder leaves, it's very worrisome for the company, because you can't replace that gut, right?
What are you most excited about right now?
Phenomenal. That's a big question there, ain't it? I'm excited to live, and I'm excited to inspire others to do the same. Working for me, culture, starting culture, like, it's part of my life. Like this thing is like I talked about again, like, it's like another limb of mine, but I don't separate, work and life. And I want to be able to travel the world, right? And go to some of the events that we have lined up, Waste Management, Super Bowl, March Madness, FIFA World Cup, like to meet the most amazing people in the world, but to then allow it to be full circle for those that like actually think that sitting here is not possible when like it is the most possible thing in the world. And it definitely makes me upset when I see someone who's so great and like now especially running this business, I don't have a lot of time like at all. But I want to help individuals when I spot talent, which I think I'm fairly good at, achieve what they are destined to achieve. And I'm most excited to be that facilitator for those people. Honestly, when I really break it down, I'm in a different stage of life now too. I just adopted 2 twin Bengal cats. No, your girlfriend, let's go. She was thinking they were coming in the new year, but I brought it before Christmas. So amazing, relationship and teammate that, even on that, just in the relationship side of things, and some people might not think it applies to business when it like 1,000% applies. Like I am so much stronger with her than without her. And having someone that can just sort of like turn your brain off, like even have the ability to do it, but then ground you and help me like, see the brighter side of everything.
It's so grounding.
Yeah.
You have a person who just gets you and understands and like, can actually help you build your empire by being that anchor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And push you to be better, like coming home, whatever hour of night and just like being so supportive and being that rock, is something that guys out there, I have a lot of friends constantly on the hunt, looking, dating, whatever. It's like, it's so annoying to hear, but it really always hits you when you're least looking for it, right? Like when we literally met at a Facebook event at an NBA All-Star weekend, right? So just stick to the path that you are supposed to be on, whatever you believe in, whatever higher power, right? Everything happens for a reason, and your time for everything will come. Just don't fuck people over along the way.
Yeah.
And, the world's a great place, so you just got to take it all in and live it.
I'm actually adopting a dog myself.
Let's go.
My family's dog, actually.
Amazing.
Yeah. They just have to give it up for adoption, and I'm like, absolutely fucking not.
Wow.
I'm about to
coming out here to Miami.
Yes.
Let's go.
Yeah, she's gonna have a great life here.
That too, man. Like pets. I mean, it's just thinking about ways to just be a real human. Like when we're like a founder and CEO, like it's
you can get kind of removed, like especially with these millions of impressions, all the money, the success, the travel and whatever. It can be difficult to like, yes, you're responsible. Exactly. You're responsible for a lot of people, but another life, like in that sense, I mean, that kind of leads me to my next question. Like, do you want to have kids?
100%.
Yeah.
4.
I feel like you'd be
4 or 5.
I feel like you'd be a great dad.
Oh, the world isn't ready for my soccer coaching. I'll tell you that. They're not ready.
Man.
No, but I want to create again and just, raise the best kids to then go do, wonderful, incredible things in the world. And
so
pass down the
what's
legacy.
your message? What's your message for your future kids right now?
Yeah.
They're going to watch this one day.
Yeah. Love you guys. I literally had a cup growing up, like my water bottle. It said you could do anything you put your mind to. I was maybe like in 3rd grade, sure, cheesy, whatever. Like it is so true. Anything that, God willing, you're able to actually do in the world, you can achieve. That is truly like my message, and I want to be an example of that. Again, like we self-funded the entire thing, Deep. The entire thing. We got robbed, then we got sued by a $500 million company for our name to fight through and be able to keep this name. I went $1.2 million in debt, taking on loans and borrowed credit to be able to sustain 6 months of lost revenue from a robbery, right? Which we never got compensated for, like all of the trajectory that we built for a year. and then hundreds of thousands of dollars in legal bills. And then if we wanted to actually do anything that could make money, where was I supposed to find $250K to invest into a sneaker line, products, travel, whatever? $1.2 million in debt. Here I am, like a month or two away from being totally debt free. We just raised a couple $1 million at a $25 million valuation.
Congrats.
And thank you, brother. And I want to welcome like the most driven, positive, spiritual, just amazing human beings in this world that want to be part of this ride with me. And together, I want to give back that, like, what is Culture Media? Like, Culture Media is like a media company that is spoken by the voices and faces of culture and empowers the next generation of culture. That's what Culture Media is.
Wow. Like, I got chills, bro. I'm fired up. I want to share something, you know, in what you're talking about, and just in the spirit of being always transparent. And you know, it's a bit of a fucking vulnerable topic for me, but I think it's
vulnerability.
I think it's important for people to hear that despite you might see the fancy studios, you might see me traveling all the time, I live a pretty amazing life and all this stuff. I'm actually sitting in that debt period right now where I have well over $300,000-$400,000 of debt.
Yep.
A lot of it's personal, that I put up my credit cards, line of credits, and whatever the fuck to keep this dream alive. That's stressful, man. Living with that, I want to say monkey on my back. It's more like a silverback fucking gorilla.
Correct.
On me all the time. But I wouldn't have it any other way. Obviously, I'd rather not be in debt, but I believe in the mission and the vision so much that I know one day I just keep going. I just keep playing this game. I'm going to be sitting on the other side with those types of valuations and building something way bigger than myself as well. Right. So what would your advice be to me in sitting in that place?
You know what every founder needs? Just another day.
That's it. That's it. I've been buying another day for 5 years.
Yeah. And guess what? As you buy the next day and the next day and the next day, you just remind yourself how lucky you are to even breathe the air you're breathing. And us being born in the first place was harder than winning the lottery, right? And, you know, debt is actually a good thing once you figure out your product. Like, debt isn't always bad. Of course, if you have grossly bad interest rates, it's not good. But for basic debt, right, and banks are willing to loan at all times, once you have a good product that's growing and a model and a pro forma that's going to yield some sort of return, right, or some of the clients that you're signing right now are, you know, very strong recurring ARR clients that you could forecast, debt is not bad, because then let's borrow it to make more, fuel growth, and you'll get all of that paid back, right? You have to be realistic with yourself. If the clients start falling off, right? Like, don't take on more betting that they might just show up out of nowhere. And even for me, you know, I expedited paying it back like over the last year aggressively, which some people and big time business owners are like, why would you do that? Whatever. But I balanced it, right? And then we've done some pretty amazing things the last 6 months. Don't even need it. Don't even need the expense. You go both ways. For me, also being vulnerable, like, you know, I think I do my best work. I have my best ideas when there's literally like almost nothing on my back, right? You need to put a lot on my back for me to feel it now. But in the beginning, you need to set yourself up for the position to succeed the most and generate, you know, massively good ideas and be able to also take risks. And if you're thinking about debt at all times, you can't do that.
No.
So
it's a constant back and forth mindset of like being in the frame of pure abundance, and like money's literally everywhere.
Everywhere, yeah.
Just capturing it.
Just paper.
Yeah. And so existing in that, but then also I got this fucking 50K Amex that I gotta take care of.
Yeah.
You know, I got this, that, and the other thing. It's like balancing those two. I have struggled with it, but I do have this supreme self-belief. I always like let go of the negative thoughts as much as possible, because it's like, dude, I've already won. Time just hasn't caught up.
Already won. And for the debt or for whatever you have in your mind. It might be Gary Vee buying the jets. It might be me buying a yacht. Like, I don't even care if I buy, like, I want the yacht, but it's more just about the journey there, right? And it's like Cuban says it himself. He's like, all you need to do is be right one time. Just be right one time and really right.
Yeah.
And you're going to be wrong thousands of other times, but just be right once.
Dude, it's really powerful, man. Wrapping things up now, because
Yeah.
we could go for hours.
I
love this.
Wow. Yeah.
What's one message you want to leave to, one of the listeners today?
Yeah. Failing is embarrassing, right? And there's people in your life that might believe in you, and you really want to make them proud, and you really want to do what they think you should do. But everyone's going to live and die, and you want to enjoy the time in between. Don't ever fail to take the shot because somebody else or some other force in life held you back. Take the shot, fail and fail and fail, and be proud that you failed. And when you fail even harder so that you can learn more. And when you learn more, the thing that you are always destined to do is going to be waiting within all of those failures. And if you never fail in the first place, you'll never know what that is. So go out and take the shot now and go fail and come give me a hug once you do.
I always say the real risk is taking none.
Correct.
Boom. Brother.
Correct.
I appreciate
brother.
I love you too.
Longevity, like we say.
To longevity. Thank you for coming on the show. Where can people connect with you?
I'm on Alex Lotier on all socials, at Alex, Lotier, and Culture Media on all socials. And we'll be at every major sports event in 2026. We'll have an HQ here in South Florida somewhere.
Oh, South Florida. We almost lost him. We lost him, but
We almost did lose me. I went out to take a little adventure around Los Angeles, and you got to know, like, just like if you hire bad and you fire quick, if you make a wrong decision, go out and scout. This could save someone millions of dollars. Go scout it yourself before the team comes. Was not the right fit. Was not what I believed Los Angeles to be. We need things and energy and people and buildings growing around us, growing with us to support our growth, right? You need people to support your growth. This is the place. And yeah, we'll be here. We'll have a podcast studio, a TikTok shop studio. We'll have places for people to work. Don't know exactly where it'll be, but we're excited to meet you guys. And
I want to work with you on that.
Yeah.
I'm going to work with you on the studio.
Sure.
And hell yeah, brother. My brother, I love you, dog.
Love you more, bro.
Let's keep crushing it.
Let's go. Subscribe.
Let's go.
Subscribe.
Hell yeah, baby.
Amazing.
Great shit.